Welcome back to my MMA news. To David McKinney, and joined today once again by the mindless hawk Dylan Budka. Fights this weekend at WFC 133 in Northfield, Ohio, the main event of the evening. And the last time, Dylan, we talked, you were an amateur going into your last amateur fight. Now you're already a couple months later in your second pro fight.
Yeah, it's exciting. Um, it's going just as quick as the amateur career was going, and I'm excited for the next few things we got planned. But first, we got to take care of business on the 19th.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the your first amateur fight last year, kind of a little earlier than this time, but you had your first amateur fight around the same time of the year that you had your first pro fight. Both of them were losses, but then you went on a crazy streak. Is that what the game plan is going into this year? Try to get as many fights as you had last year, or what are you looking to stay that busy, or what's your
Uh,
game plan?
yeah, definitely trying to stay busy, take as many fights as we want. If I could sign all the contracts right now without other promotions getting angry, I would definitely sign them all. Yeah, definitely looking to do a fight a month for sure. Fight a month.
Yeah, you staying very busy. So the let's talk before we jump into this fight about your pro debut, because it was kind of a whirlwind, like a couple of weeks for you. First, I know you had originally scheduled, you were supposed to have a rematch against Derek Overstreet, who you made your amateur debut against last year. That fight fell through, and then the whole event ended up getting canceled. What was, and I know you were very heated about that, and you wanted to jump on, and we had an interview scheduled, and you wanted to jump on, I'm assuming you probably cooled down a little bit, but you were like, man, it was interesting seeing like the just the emotion, and I know it's a ton of emotion when you fight and all that stuff, but I think there was more to it than that.
Um, Yeah, we had a 2-month fight camp. It was actually my longest fight camp for Derek Overstreet. And I got my weight down. I was on weight 3 weeks before listening to his podcast about he don't know if I'm going to be able to make weight. And when I heard that, yeah, the show got canceled, but he didn't want to fight me, because if he wanted to fight me, it could have happened, because we contacted another promotion and we said we can do the same exact date at the same exact weight. And then I even said we can do a higher weight. We can go heavyweight if you're too heavy and you had too much food. I just want to fight you. I'm ready to fight you and get that one back. And he didn't want no smoke with me for real. So he's old news. I'm already far past him. If we see each other down the road, I'll gladly take that fight again. But I don't think he wants to fight me at all. Um, luckily, we got a fight scheduled the same exact day, pretty much, and it was same preparation for another kickboxer. It was crazy for real, because I was actually kind of upset for a few days because I wasn't had anything scheduled for January. It was gonna be the first month I ain't have no fight in a long time,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was awesome to fight in front of all them, in front of that crowd, and definitely a different feeling. Definitely a different feeling. I was nervous. I felt like I was starting over again because it was my first pro fight. And if I would have just trusted my hands as much as I trust my wrestling, I think the fight would have went different. But I made a rookie mistake and I learned from it. And I feel like that fight definitely woke up something I needed to do in my fight game and excel. It sucks losing on a big stage like that, and losing that way, but they want me back, and I learned a lot from that loss and studied myself, and definitely excelling in the room in many
Yeah.
ways to show my skills.
I mean, I feel like even though you did come away with a loss, it was a tough situation. You took the fight. The fight was at Icon FC 1, which is Jorge Masvidal's promotion, and the fight I think was on UFC Fight Pass. But do you feel like you gained a lot of confidence just hanging in there? First of all, you took the fight on like 2 days' notice. You fought a guy that was already 2-0 as a pro and had, I think, 13 amateur fights and been fighting since like 2015, and you're just over a year in there, and it wasn't like the fight was definitely not a mismatch. Do you feel like that like upped your confidence heading into your next couple fights, even though it was a loss?
Uh, Definitely. Just how I feel in the room now, knowing that I can bang with the guys that are at the top level already. It definitely showed me that I'm capable of doing. I'm able to do this. I made a small mistake, messed up, but I definitely know now that if I show my skills and I do what I need to do, I can take on the best guys, and I can give them a handful. I'm a handful to them.
this weekend, WFC 133 is in Northfield, and you're fighting another guy that has a stand-up striking background, which is interesting. From being in an area like Ohio, and this area, usually you get a lot of wrestlers, but you're fighting a guy that has not only MMA experience but some boxing and some bare knuckle boxing experience as well. And he I know took the fight on relatively short notice. So I think maybe you're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say prepared, but you've had this date circled for a lot longer than he has. Do you feel like
Yeah.
a little different going in with that mindset?
Man, I'll fight anybody, any day, anytime. Obviously, you see any weight class. I was 195 last week, and this guy's 215. I don't care. I'm just ready to fight. I don't want to put on a show for my fans. It's all I love to do, man. And I'm happy he's a boxer because I'm ready to show these hands off. I'm gonna show them off this Saturday.
And you said, when we talked before your last amateur fight, that you've still only shown about 20% of what you can do. Do you still feel like that's at 20%? Do you think you bumped up to maybe 25, 30%? What's that percentage at now, a couple fights later?
uh, we're at like 20% still for real. Definitely 20%. But after this weekend, we're gonna be at like 26%.
Okay. It's like the loading bar. I feel like it's like waiting on the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
definitely. A lot of people are learning in the room, and they're taking years to. They'll take a few months off. I'm learning on the go, man. I'm learning as I fight, and it's fun to kind of do it like that. You make a little mistake here and there, but then you go to the next fight and do better the next one, and that's how I'm improving so quick because I'm taking all
Yeah.
these fights and fighting everybody. You should fight everybody, man, because that's the only way you can get to the top.
Yeah, it is fascinating that you have such a mindset that is not in the fight game in the MMA side these days, that A, you're training all the time, and then B, you're fighting all the time as well. A lot of people, 2, 3 fights a year is a lot for, even for amateurs, and you took 9 MMA fights, and I think it was 7 boxing fights. And even people that come from the wrestling background like you do still, just don't stay as active. Do you feel like, and I know you said that's, do you recommend that for other people, or do you think that it's just you, or, how do you feel like the sport is, because it still is, you just don't see that many people doing what you're doing in terms of the how active you are.
Yeah, I train a lot of people now too in my coach's gym, and I'll tell them when new people are coming, I'm like, take all the fights you can as an amateur because like that don't mean nothing. Right now, I went 7-2 as an amateur, and now I'm 0-1. None of them fights mean nothing. None of them titles mean nothing. Go in there, fight everybody, fight the best amateurs, and you gotta get your ass beat a few times. Get your ass beat as an amateur so you can go out there in the front of the big show and do your thing and not feel like, oh damn, I can't do this. I can't do this. No, fight everybody as an amateur. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations so you can feel comfortable when it comes time to turn pro.
Yeah, and I think that's amazing too, because a lot of times you go to, I go to shows, and they'll have 12 fights on the card, and then guys drop off last minute. But that's a great mindset of taking all the fights you can, just because
For
half of
real.
them are going to fall off, the week of, or even at weigh-ins. Or I've seen
Yeah.
guys that, opponents don't come out of the back when their name's called. It's a crazy sport,
Yeah.
man. You
Oh,
stick around long enough. Yeah.
yeah, I've had just as many people back out on me as I've had fights for real. So like, take them as many as you can, or your career is gonna take forever to blow up for real.
Yeah. Um, One of the last things I wanted to talk to you about was you were the 2021 Ohio MMA News Amateur Fighter of the Year, and you had the most votes of anybody by, I think, almost double, which was amazing. What do first of all, what's it mean to you to win that award, and then just the amount of fan support that you have, I think, early in your career? What's that mean to you?
Oh, I feel so blessed to have everybody supporting me like that. I definitely seen that I had like quadruple the votes, and it was awesome. Definitely awesome knowing that everybody support. I even seen veteran fighters that's been doing this for years comment underneath of it saying, "Damn, this guy's the truth." And that I was reading them, and it definitely made my confidence go up a little bit too, knowing that all them guys that are been doing this 5, 6 years are giving me respect. That's awesome. I appreciate everybody that voted for me, and I appreciate you for making me a nominee.
Yeah, and of course, man, it's again, I haven't seen that many people take that many fights in a year and win 7 fights in a year. Most people take 7 fights over 3 or 4 years, which is kind of crazy. But do you have any teammates fighting on the card with you this weekend?
Um, no, no. I trained with Taiwan Stills
Okay.
a little bit a few weeks back, and we actually had a grappling match against each other. Um, he's definitely a great training partner that I've worked with, and I'm excited to see him fight too. I also know Walt from Strong Style. He's fighting on the card too. So I've trained with both them guys a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, a huge, big thing, like 6'4", 185, like looks like the guy that is, and then came out. I think he actually lost to Taiwan
He
a
did.
couple years ago, and then
Yeah.
he's always looked like the guy that if he can put it together and is still like pretty young, and then
Yeah.
training, of course, at Strong Style, he's a scary dude. I'm
He
excited
is.
to
He
see him
is.
back
Yeah.
in the cage.
Yep.
But that's all I got for you, man. I know you got a bunch of sponsors, a bunch of people to thank. I always want to give you that opportunity, so the stage is yours.
I want to thank my team, Demolition Fight Team, for another great fight camp and keeping me healthy. I wouldn't be able to do it at Gary Young, Jaden Talker, and all my teammates that make sure I keep my head straight during all these crazy fight camps and making sure I keep my head straight outside the gym. Thank you to all my sponsors. There's so many. I can't remember all of them right now. And thank you to all my fans for supporting me through all this journey and everybody that bought tickets for WFC this Saturday. I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah, and one of the few local events, there's no stream. So if you want to see the fight, you got to be there at the MGM Northfield in Northfield, Ohio, up kind of by Cleveland. A great card. WFC's done a handful of shows in Ohio, and they always put on really really good deep cards with a lot of fights. I think there's 13 fights scheduled on the card this weekend, 2 pro fights, and of course Dylan in the main event.
The
Uh,
realest gangster in the game. Realest gangster in the game.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I can't take you serious when you say stuff like that, man. Come on. You're like the nicest dude who got like the crazy smile, and like, but it changes when you go in the cage. But yeah.
Definitely for sure.
But check out Dylan Budka this weekend, WFC 133, fighting back in Ohio. Hopefully, we can get you more fights in Ohio, so people
Oh
want
yeah.
to travel to see you. But
Yeah.
thank you so much, man, and best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate you having me, brother. I'll see you there.
All right.